Hey guys, it's Trucker Rich here. Saturday, September 28th. And we are done working for the day. We're just on our way back to the farm where we park our trucks. And I want to talk about something that I saw today at a truck stop. Now, you can see that back window back there, so you know I am a local driver. And for the most part, I am. There is, on occasion, I go out overnight. And it averages about once every 2 weeks, and they put me in a hotel. But for the most part, I'm local, so I always bring my lunch with me. Well, today I woke up a little bit late. And I forgot to grab it out of the refrigerator. So, I decided I would stop at a TA in Jeffersonville, Ohio. And I'm in there looking around, killing time. Because I was doing my 30-minute break, you know? And, I got to talking to this guy. This kid worked for Werner. And he was on a truck with his trainer, and he was back in the back by the Pizza Hut Express where I was, and he was bitching about his trainer not allowing him to use his refrigerator or his cooler. So he's telling me that he's been out with this guy for like 4 or 5 days, and it's costing him a lot of money to eat. You know, and he's only eating once a day because that's all he can afford. Now, I know from my experience with Werner, one of my 2 trainers was a prick like that. And I understand it's his truck, but my trainer wouldn't even let me control the back temperature controllers when I was in the bunk. So, needless to say, that's why I had another trainer. Now, I don't know how it is now, but I'm assuming it's the same way as 10 years ago. But that trainer is getting paid the miles he drives, plus the mile that kid is driving. The least he can do is let him put some kind of food in the damn refrigerator. So I'm back there talking to him, waiting for the Pizza Hut lady to get her shit, you know, ordered. And I forgot how expensive that food really was. I got a combo number 2, which is a personal pizza with 4 little slices, 3 breadsticks that were as hard as a rock. I could have probably broke my window with them, and a fountain drink. All for the low trucker appreciation price of $9.85. What a ripoff. So I'm going to give advice to you guys that are just getting out here. If you run into a trainer like this guy did, you're pretty much stuck. You know, you got to somehow man it out until you qualify and you get your own truck. Once you get your own truck, the first thing I recommend, there's 3 things that you need. And I notice on Facebook, on Pig Rig Talk, a lot of guys coming out of training, and they're getting assigned their trucks, or they're in orientation, or whatever the deal is, and they want to know what kind of TV to get, what size power inverter to power their PS3 or Xbox. You ain't gonna have time for that crap your first couple weeks, trust me. 3 things you need to save up money for to get when you first get out of your own is a CB radio. That's the third. The third thing you need is a CB radio. Even if you never turn that damn thing on, at least keep it in your truck, because one day you're going to need it. Two, now you got your truck. You got your little GPS up in the window. You got your little assignment. You're ready to go across the country. What happens if your GPS goes out? Do you know how to get there? I didn't 5 years ago when I was out in the middle of Indiana somewhere and my GPS died. Didn't have a map. So the second thing you need to buy is that Trucker's Atlas. Even if you sit it on top of your bunk or under your seat and never touch it, just like that CB radio, at least it's in your truck. Because you will need that one day. And the third thing, probably the most important at first, I don't know if you can see it or hear it, I got a styrofoam one because I just keep drinks in it because I'm home every night. You need a cooler that plugs into your cigarette lighter or a small refrigerator, or you might get away with a cooler and keep putting ice in it, but I wouldn't recommend that because if you put any kind of food in it, you got the chances of it getting all soggy. So, and I know it's hard to go out and buy that stuff from the get-go, but you're gonna need it. You are definitely gonna need it. Now, I haven't been over the road in about 3 years. I don't know if all the new trucks are coming with refrigerators or stuff like that, or microwaves. But you're going to need that stuff because, now, what I'm about to tell you is from my experience, and it is 10 years ago, so maybe it's changed. If it's changed, and somebody that's, 2 or 3 years into the business now, let me know. But I know 10 years ago, it was expensive to eat at the truck stop every day. You get to the point you're going to learn within a few weeks you can only eat once a day. That's all you're going to be able to afford unless you bring some kind of food with you. When I first got my CDL, I didn't have any kind of connections whatsoever. Nobody would give me a local job, so I did what most truck drivers do. I contact Werner, Swift, Schneider, and J.B. Hunt was doing local students at the time. And I decided to go with Werner. And I had all that stuff that they fed into my head back in trucking school when they came and the recruiter came. I thought 25 cents a mile, I was going to become rich. My whole goal was to save up all this money and open up a bar. But that changed real quick. My biggest take-home check with Werner in the year that I worked, it was $400. And I drove all 11 hours. I used up my whole 70. I was just not making any money. And I don't know if it was something I was doing wrong or what the deal was. And if it was just me, then ignore this video. I'm not here to badmouth Werner because I appreciate the fact that they gave me the opportunity to drive all over this country and see almost every state. And if it wasn't for personal reasons, I probably would have stayed with them. Not permanently. I would have stayed longer and tried to see if things got better as I got more experienced. But when my dad passed away and they got me home the next day, they demanded me to come back to work. They got me home on a Saturday. He died on Friday. They got me home Saturday. Monday, they're calling me up, wanting me to come back to work. And we didn't even have the funeral yet. That plus I was having a whole bunch of issues with the truck constantly breaking down and ended up in hotels because it had to go back to the cat dealer. And it was so hard to get reimbursed for them hotels. So all of this led up to my departure from Warner. But guys, you gotta make sure you have your cooler and that Road Atlas, because I'm telling you, you're gonna depend on that GPS one too many times, and it's gonna get you out in the middle of somewhere, and it's gonna die. Your battery charge, the charger's gonna wear out. Something's gonna happen, and you're gonna be like I was in Indiana, stuck out in the middle of nowhere with my thumb up my ass. Luckily, most of the big companies are route you from point A to point B, which I didn't know that at the time, you know. So luckily I had them route me. I got to my destination, and the first thing I did is went and bought a new Atlas, because when I first started back in 2002, GPSs weren't that big yet, so I didn't have one. I went by the Atlas, you know. And well, when that GPS came out, I'm like, whoa, look at this technology. All I gotta do is push the pedal and drive the wheel and listen to this lady. She'll get me there. And I got used to that. And I threw the Atlas out because it had gotten old and pages started to fall out. So I threw it in the garbage and never did replace it. And what a mistake that was. I'm telling you. You might think I'm sitting here sounding stupid, but you're going to need that Atlas. CB radio. Let me tell you why you need that. Cell phone coverage doesn't work everywhere. I'm sure you know that. And you do not want to be out in the middle of South Dakota in the middle of December with no cell phone signal and no CB radio. That CB radio will always reach somebody. That cell phone won't. That's why I said make sure you get your CB radio. I don't care if you never turn that damn thing on. You will need it one day. I guarantee it. So, get your CB radio, get your map, and get your cooler. You can probably get all three for around $300 altogether. And then you can worry about your television, your Xbox, or your PS3, and all that stuff. You gotta survive out here before you can entertain yourself. Because there ain't nobody looking out for you. You can't call your company up. Well, actually, you can and get a cash advance, I guess, if you need money to eat. But that's not going to do you any good. I'm telling you, from my experience, my biggest paycheck take-home at Warner starting out was $400. And that, $1,600 a month, folks. Alright? You eat out every day, that's $70 a week. That's $280. So just say so it's $300. Now you're down to $1,300. Alright? What's going to happen after 90 days? You need health insurance. That's going to start coming out. That shit's not cheap. That's about another $100 a week. So, unless you're living at home with mommy and daddy and not a worry in the world, and hey, you go out there, you play your Xbox and your PS3 and don't worry about nothing. You eat that truck stop food, you get fat like me, you live happy. But if you got a car payment, 20 kids, a wife, whatever, then make sure you're smart and don't blow your money, because for the first couple weeks, money's going to be tight. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Be safe. Don't kill your trainer. And if you have any questions, you can find me on Facebook. I'm always commenting on Big Rig Talk. Or you can add me as a friend at Rich. I guess it's Richard space Adamski. A-D-A-M-S-K-I. You can add me as a friend. And I'll put it down below in the little description thing. You can message me if you have any kind of comments or questions or what. And I'll try to help you. And remember, this video is from my experience only. I'm not saying that everybody agrees with it. I'm just trying to help you new guys out. Oh, and also, do not be afraid to ask for help. These guys are sit in the truck stop at night and talk shit on the radio because somebody's having trouble backing in. You're not going to have the privilege to roll into a truck stop every day at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and have your pick of spots. Some nights you're going to get in there and it's going to be the last spot in the truck stop, and it's going to be way down in the back corner in the dark. And trust me, there's always somebody up in that place. And I'm sure you can find somebody on the radio that would be more than willing to help you back in. I know I'd help you because I wouldn't want my truck smashed. So just a few simple tips to help you get on your new career adventure here. And I wish you the best of luck. Hope everything goes good. This is Trucker Rich. You guys have a good day.